Hi, hello, welcome. Thank you so much for coming back to my YouTube channel. My name is Laura and this is I Heart Knitting, and today we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to teach you how to spin on a drop spindle. So this is my top whorl drop spindle that I bought quite a few years ago from my local yarn shop, and it was locally made. And so we're going to go through a little bit of fiber prep, and then I will stand up against a nice white background and show you how this works. So first things first, you need to attach a leader, like a piece of yarn, something for your fiber that you're going to be spinning to attach to. So we call it a leader. I just use scrap yarn. And so what you're going to do is you're just going to take your leader and tie it onto the bottom. So now you have your leader all set, and it's down on your spindle. So the next thing we need to do is prep our fibers. Okay, so here we go. I have this fiber. Is from West Coast Color, and as you can see, it is in roving form, which roving is where all the fibers have been carded together in one direction, and this one has been hand dyed. So this one's actually, sometimes they get a little felted in the dyeing process or just in being stored, and this one is definitely on the feltier side. So the first thing I'm going to do before I do anything is just open up this fiber and make it a bit easier to work with. So I'll just do that. Okay, so we've opened up our fiber here, and now I'm just going to tear off a piece. So depending on what kind of fiber it is, you'll have to place your hands kind of far apart, and when you start to pull, you'll feel it just start to give. This has a longer staple, as you can see by how far I'm holding my hands apart. A staple is the length of the wool. So now I have this nice piece of roving, and I will probably just split it, lengthwise into 4 nice usable pieces. You can prep your roving however you like. I like to have some smaller pieces when I'm drop spindling, and then this will change your color distribution as well, so you can think about that as you're dividing. And yes, so what we're going to be doing when we're spinning is you're going to be stretching out the fibers here, so you can see they want to stick to each other. Wool fiber has little teeth on it. So you can see I can just pull it apart if I hold it, my hands very far apart. And then the spinning process is where we're actually going to add twist here. And what that twist is going to do is it's going to strengthen the yarn. So you can see now the yarn doesn't want to come apart. It's a really weird face. The yarn doesn't want to come apart quite as easily. So essentially that's what we're going to be doing when we're spinning, is we're going to be it's called drafting the fiber, where you pull the fibers out to the thickness that you want, and then with the spindle we will be applying twist to this fiber. There we go. Okay, so it's really important to always spin in the same direction, and then you're going to wrap your yarn in that direction. So I'm going to start twisting my leader. There we go. I'm going to start twisting my leader up, and this is just going to create like a foundation and something that I can then start spinning off of. Okay, so there's a little notch here where my yarn is going to fit in, and then I'm going to go up and it's going to catch on here, and it's going to catch on my hook. So this is my setup, and then what you're going to do, put that down. is we're going to make a slip knot here, and then this is going to be what we're going to attach the beginning of our roving to. This is the roving I was showing you where I've already prepped out a little bit to this thickness. So we've got this roving now is looped in a little U shape around the slip knot, and then I can just pull this slip knot up taut. And so this is going to give me something to start spinning with. Okay, so it's important to remember that there's no strength in this fiber until I start to spin it. Like, it's already starting to fall apart. So it can break really, really easily until you start putting twist in. So we'll just lay that back over. If it's broken, it's really easy. You can just lay it back over and line those fibers back up. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of a little, my excess here up at the top. Just keep spinning that around. Again, I'm spinning the drop spindle clockwise. And now we have the leader is hooked on the hook. The hook is going to kind of be our barrier between what we're working with and, whoops, don't do that. What we're working with and what we've already finished with. Okay, so if you take the roving and place it over your arm, that will keep your working fiber out of the way. And then we're going to take this, you just pinch it with your fingers and you just give it a really good twist and start spinning. And then I'm going to be taking this fiber and pulling, and as I let go, the twist is going to jump up. So this is kind of felted, but you get the idea. And when it gets too long, you're going to unhook your hook and then just attach all this new fiber. And then we'll notch it again. You can see I've added a little bit onto my spindle here. And this is actually a good time to see the twist in this yarn. Because as you can see, there are two colors mixing there. And that's going to create this barber pole effect, but it actually is really useful in illustrating spin. So as I was showing you before, I can take the spin back, or I can take the twist right back out of this, and then as I put it in, it's actually better against my sweater, isn't it? Okay. so there, yeah, you can totally see that, right? So untwisted, and you can see it's gonna fall apart on me at any second. And then if I let go of this hand, all that energy is gonna go into the yarn. Okay, so I'm just gonna undo or untuck my chair a little bit. And then we'll just do some more spinning. So spin, give that a twist, and then we'll just keep pulling our fiber. Now if you can see all that extra energy in there, all that extra twist. When I let go, it wants to twist back on itself. This is good for me because I'm planning on doing a 2-ply where you need a little bit of extra twist. If I was planning on making a 1-ply yarn, this would be over twisted. So you need to think about what type of yarn you're trying to create. And that will affect how you spin. Yes, and how much twist you put on. Okay, so this looks really natural for me. It's gonna feel really unnatural for you if you haven't worked with fiber before. Drafting and working with the fibers and working with the twist of the yarn you're creating. But trust me when I tell you that if you keep at it, it will become a lot more intuitive, and I find it really relaxing. I find it really just very zen. Okay, so some beginner tips: definitely make sure that you draft your fiber ahead of time, like I did, where you're making sure that it's easy to work with when you're actually spinning. The more work you do, just grab another piece here, the more work you do at the beginning to open up all these fibers and just give yourself that room to work, it's going to be easier in the end. Okay, so I'm at the end here of my roving and I have a new chunk that I want to add. So what I'm going to do is just pull this out so it's a little thinner here, and then take this piece and we're just going to lay them on top of each other, essentially overlapping. I generally overlap quite a lot, like a couple inches of fiber. Okay, and then what I've done here is I've pinched the two ends in these two fingers here so that I have a bit more control, and then I'm going to pinch here, and then I'll let go of this hand, and then that's going to allow the twist to travel up and catch this next piece of fiber. Okay, so when we spin, that's all going to get incorporated together. And you can see now that join has strength. I have all the weight of the drop spindle hanging off of it. Okay, so I'll just do a little bit more. Geez, I know this is really amateur, but I really would love to start sharing a few more techniques and things with you. And so this is my first attempt, bear with me, but look forward to more things like this in the future. Please let me know if you're interested in seeing a few tutorials peppered in with my kind of vlog podcasts. And you know, if you'd like to see more of this in the future, if you like the content I'm putting out, if I'm showing up on your page, please hit the subscribe button. Really, really helpful for me to just get my tutorials and my content out there to other like-minded people. So here, let me just pop my head back in again. Hi. So thank you so much for joining me. This is what I've done so far for yarn, and yeah, pretty happy with it.